I played Operation Oil Spill in 2023. So, if you didn't know, there are 5 tours of duty you can do in Man vs Machine, Team Fortress 2's PvE mode. But this intermediate tour is one the majority of players generally avoid. Unlike all other MVM tours that give bot killers, kill streak kits, robot parts, and most importantly, Australiums, this 6 mission tour only gives you rust and the admittedly good looking blood bot killers. However, I wanted to know who is still playing this tour and why they are doing so, especially when there are clearly much better and much more profitable tours to do. Thus, I bought 6 tour of duty tickets and jumped into the queue. Now, from experience, I already knew Oil Spill has some fairly long wait times, so I also began queuing for a Dust Bowl server. However, to my surprise, the queue pretty much immediately fired and I was sent to Coaltown. I loaded in and we already had 5 players with the majority of pick classes taken. So, I took Medic. Why Medic? Simple. The projectile shield plus a Kritzkrieg is a powerful combination no matter the tour or players. Speaking of players, when looking at the tours the other players had done, it turned out the majority of them had started at least one Oil Spill tour already, with only the Heavy and Engineer being fresh faces. So, it seemed we already had a good team and a good chance to get this mission done in short order. Some of the team did die in the first wave, including the Engie. However, for what it's worth, it went fine and we even got the full bonus, which set the tone for the rest of the mission. Wave 2 went smoothly, even with the tank and no pyro to shred it. On Wave 3, I asked the team why they had chosen this tour and got some fairly interesting answers. The sniper, for example, was practicing, and the scout just felt like it and wanted to finish his second tour.
Cool your bones! Go, go, go! Go, go, go!
For the rest of the mission, it went well. Very well, actually. So much so that the whole team noticed it and we had a little moment about it.
Scout is dead! Ready to charge!
I am ready!
Ready! Keep bloody going! Thank you!
And we ultimately ended up completing the mission easily, with me having 33 kills, 0 deaths, and 534 points, only 13 behind the Engineer. That is a perfect start in every way. Although, the scout probably figured out why the squad surplus is a bad purchase in every way, so there were some casualties, dare I say. Unlike last mission, I actually had to queue for a little bit, and so got to play Dust Bowl for a moment, which went well. But when I got to Mannworks, a big surprise was in store. Not only was Pablo from the last mission back, but Punisher Fan, the Engineer, had 86 tours of Oil Spill already completed. To give that some perspective, from 2015 to 2016, I had completed 8 tours, and that put me 382nd on the all-time list of Oil Spill completions. But Punisher would be 23rd on that list with his. The dedication to pulling that off is impressive. In his words, however, though, it's R&R from punishing the guilty. Anyway, I went Medic again as he seemed like the safe bet, and he was for the first 2 waves of the mission. However, on the 3rd wave, we had a problem. This wave has 10 Super Scouts and a tank. And without a Mad Milk Scout, the predictable happened, and we lost on the 3rd Super Scout. So I switched to Scout for the 2nd attempt of the 3rd wave, which solved that problem, even if I missed slowing the Giants a few too many times. From there, it was back to med and making sure my demos had crit stickies before the start of every wave. There was a close moment on wave 4 where a few of us went down, but being med allowed me to revive them. Although, to my own disappointment, I did miss a taunt kill at wave's end.
I'm going to saw through your barber.
Well done. Quickly, get to an upgrade station.
Wave 5 had another close Super Scout moment and a tank that almost got to the hatch, but we held and completed the wave with no more drama. And on wave 6, 3 of the team even managed to get the Clockwork Carnage achievement in one go. Although, in the end, Punisher Fan got a Rust Sticky Bomb launcher as his end of tour drop. Poor guy. I lost track of points I had for this mission, however I did manage to finish it again without dying. Already 2 missions down without a single death. Pretty good. After another fun, but brief 10-minute visit to Dust Bowl, I returned to Coaltown and was joined again by Katya from Mannworks. But here is where our trouble started. Our engineer, Red Shark, was using mini sentries / the gunslinger. Not a good choice for MVM. The team did ask him to switch, but he wouldn't listen. After choosing medic for the 3rd time in a row, my luck finally ran out on the first wave as I died to a scout while trying to tell our pyro to air blast the scouts into the pit to reset the bomb. Said pyro would disconnect before wave 2 started, and by wave 3 an ultimately unsuccessful attempt to kick the engineer would occur, but he finally started speaking to us and agreed to switch to level 3s, much to the other players in the lobby's joy. Now, I really thought Red Shark was a new player, but to be honest I'm not sure. For one, he clearly had an unusual taunt, and 2, I think he was wearing a ghastly gibbous. Closely related to the ghostly gibbous, the ghastly gibbous was a 2011 Halloween item you cannot trade. While it is possible he just hadn't played tier 2 for a long time, in the back of my mind I do wonder if he was smurfing. Thankfully, from that point it was back to smooth-ish sailing through the waves, and so I got back to asking why people played Oil Spill, with one of them being a first-time tourer and another being a completionist. And yeah, Demo didn't take kindly to the NG buying the mini sentry upgrade, but he did back down when I told him what was going on. There's no need to be that loyal to the meta, this is only Oil Spill after all.
Need a dispenser here.
Pony up, boys!
I am fully charged.
Waves 5 and 6, dare I say, were well oiled, and this time I had top points with 458, but Katya was closely behind me with 432, and Red Shark, despite it all, had a respectable 358. So this time, instead of waiting for 10 minutes on Dust Bowl, I waited for 10 minutes on Gold Rush. Did it go well? Well, sort of. Finally though, I got a game on Decoy. No lie, I really like this map. Don't know why, I just do. And for this round, I chose Engineer. Considering what happened last round, I wanted to cover him myself. But yeet the man, who was originally heavy, went NG. I did ask him to change, but he didn't want to. I didn't push it since, again, oil spill, it doesn't matter that much. And, with the exception of blowing myself up at the end of the first wave, this mission was as easy as you like. I did make sure to ask again why people were playing, but got the standard doing all missions and just started MVM responses. In the end, this mission just took 23 minutes. Orlando, the Pyro, got a Rust Wrench as his end of tour drop, which was neat, and I top scored again. So, as you might expect by now, I got into the queue for Oil Spill and 2 Fort. Fortunately, however, I got into Decoy very quickly. However, after loading in and choosing NG, my game froze. I thought it crashed, but nope, I was going to 2 Fort as I had joined server when slotted empty on. Quickly, I rejoined the server, and then my game crashed. By the time I rejoined, Wave 1 was underway, so I had to rush build everything with no canteens for that wave. Luckily, the team held fine and I was in business in no time. Pablo from Mission 1 made his triumphant return, and so did your balls from the previous one. Having 2 heavies on your team is not something I've seen often, but it worked wonderfully with my extra dispenser range. There were no special reasons for the players playing Oil Spill this time, just Mann finishing his tour. However, the team composition did become special, as halfway through Wave 4, Kaspak, the soldier, left, and his slot was not filled for the rest of the match. Not that it really mattered. This team was more than good enough as 5. If anything though, this shows how easy these missions really are. I also did do a bit of sass on Pablo, as you do.
Defeated the wave. Good. I'm giving you a bonus.
I'm ready. Nice going, partner. I feel fit as a fit.
Waves 5 through 7 were simple good fun. And at the end of the mission, Mann got a Rust sticky bomb launcher, and yet again, I forgot to record scores. And so, for the final time, I queued up and got in. But funnily enough, it was a game that was already on Wave 2. I'd clicked Join Games in Progress from Mission 1, but it never happened until Mission 6. Curious. And as usual, we met up again with some old friends. This time, Yeet. To switch it up and to have some fun, I went Pyro, with every 2 city player's favourite item, the Gas Passer. With its Explode on Ignite upgrade, it makes Pyro into one of the most effective classes in MVM. And to no one's surprise then, these waves were a breeze thanks to the gas. I did switch to the Flog for a few tanks, but funnily enough on Wave 3, since the team were focused on the tank quite a lot, I was able to go to the front and throw a few extra gases on the bots. Also, thankfully, since we had a scout already, Wave 4 didn't end in another Super Scout cap. To show you how good this mission went, let me show you how quickly we took down 2 tanks on Wave 5.
Multiple tanks! Stop them!
Flog or not, 55 seconds is pretty good. And thus, we got to Wave 6, the final wave of the tour. What would my bot killer be? A knife? Wrench? Maybe a blood bot killer? Nope, it was yet another sticky bomb launcher. Oh well, I didn't have a strange sticky bomb launcher before, and now I do. So, what have we learnt from this? Well, for one, Oil Spill is still played, and two, by quite a few people. Just doing those 6 missions only took me 3 hours. In the past, it would have taken days just to get into one bad lobby. Also, the people playing Oil Spill are generally 2 types of people. New players, and those who are curious enough to give it a try, although there are some exceptions. Can I recommend Oil Spill to you? Well, if you want pure profit from MVM, I cannot. The loot is not valuable at all, and even if you get a blood bot killer, the profit will be much smaller than Aussies or kits. I do wish Valve would change the loot pool a little for Oil Spill. You know, maybe have it where 2 or 3 robot parts also drop when completing missions, or have killstreak kits as a rare end of tour drop, like Aussies are for the other tours. But if you're looking for a fun, easy experience on MVM without much pressure from the meta that the other tours demand, I would recommend it. There are good times to be had there. And so, until next time everybody, I thank you for watching, do hope you've enjoyed it, and until we meet again, from me, Bubble Zest, goodbye.